Hello everyone and welcome to this new video for the Remote Chess Academy. I'm the International Master Maximiliano Perez and today I gonna show you a really good game from Alexander Alekhine against Asztalos. This game is pretty important because I will teach you how to build an attack. Many players think that creating an attack is a matter of put all your pieces against the king or around the king and trying to create threats. But that is not the truth. In general, if you want to create a good attack, you need to play carefully, yeah, and place all your pieces in the best square. So the positional play and the tactical play are joined for this purpose. If you want to attack, you need to play positionally good first and after that to creating an attack. So in this game, of course, Alekhine did that in a really marvelous way. So knight f3, g5, c4, e6, g4 and knight f6. So here bishop g5. Asztalos choose h6. This is the Podvinic variation. Bishop takes f6, queen takes f6 and knight c3. So c6 was the move. Okay, this position is pretty interesting because the black pieces has the bishop pair advantage, but on the other hand, the white pieces has the advantage of on space. No, so queen b3, knight d7 and e4. Well, this is a pretty interesting line, and in fact, I think it's the best move here. Why? Because white has the more space, and for that reason, e4, the main idea is to gain more space. So, d takes e4, knight takes e4, queen f4, and bishop b3. Another good advantage for the white pieces is the development advantage. So, bishop e7, castle, castle, and rook f e1. Rook d8, rook a d1. It's very instructive to see how Alekhine is not worried about playing fastly with the development advantage because the position is almost closed. So for that reason, we need to place first all our pieces in the best squares and after that think about to create a strong attack. Also, we need some weaknesses because an attack is not really strong without opponent weaknesses. Yeah. So queen c7, knight g3, and knight f8. So queen c3, another positional move, defending the g4 square, a5, and of course, every time when it's our turn, first of all, we need to see what is the opponent threat. Yeah, that is pretty important, because sometimes here we are thinking, okay, I want to attack on the king side, so knight h5 or knight e5, winning the center, or h4 or something like that, and we forget the opponent, because the opponent is playing in the last file, no, with all your his pieces. But what is the problem? Sometimes the opponent wants to counterattack. For example, here is threatening bishop b4. And this is a really annoying threat. For that reason, Alekhine played a3, a4, and knight e5. Now, yeah, it's important to improve our pieces. Queen a5 and queen c1. Well, in this position is interesting because, remember, if we want to attack, to exchange pieces is not the best approach, yeah? In general, we need to exchange pieces only with some static advantage or if the endgame is better for us, yeah? So, bishop d7 are really good move for the white pieces. What do you think, guys? What is the best move for the white pieces here? I suggest you to pause the video and try to discover what is the best move. Well, here c5 was played, an amazing move, and I know that at first glance this move looks like a really strange because maybe you are seeing that the d5 square now is weak, no? But what is the main idea of Alekhine? Okay, it's interesting to see that sometimes a square can be weak but the opponent can take advantage of that. For example, now this knight, if this knight can arrive to d5, that would be amazing for the black pieces, but it's really hard to arrive with the knight on this square. So for that reason, c5 is a really good move, because okay, has the disadvantage of on the d5 square, but the advantage is the b6 and d6 square, and of course the move knight c4. So it's interesting, but what has some advantage are the only disadvantage is not possible to for the black pieces to take advantage. So b5, bishop e4. Okay, b5 is understandable because it's avoiding knight c4, but on the other hand, is creating another weakness, and this is c6. So of course, Alekhine took advantage of that, playing bishop e4, queen c7, and queen c3, bishop e8. And again, we have this position. I know that you are thinking about trying to create some threats on the king side, but here Alekhine chose a different plan. Again, I suggest you to pause the video. Remember that it's not useful only to see the video, but also to practice with it. So, for example, if you can practice here thinking about the situation, would be interesting, because you will be able to see your mistakes and your thinking process. Yeah. So pause the video and trying to discover what is the best move here for white. Well, here Alekhine played knight e2, and that is amazing. Why? Because rook a6 was played defending the c6 square, and the idea of behind knight e2 is knight c1, knight d7, and knight takes d7 takes a knight d3. And now this knight can arrive to b4, and this is an excellent square for the white knight, because can attack the rook on a6 and the pawn on c6. In fact, knight b4 now is a threat. Because of that, black played rook d8, and the white player played knight e5. Maybe you are asking right now why he didn't play knight b4. No? Well, because now the c6 pawn is defended, and it's really difficult to put more pressure in this pawn. For example, knight b4, no? Rook a8 and queen f3, something like that. Well, he can play rook ac8 and the pawn is defended, so okay, the knight on b4 is not in a bad square, but it's not doing any more than attacking the c6 pawn. For that reason, Alekhine chose knight e5, now thinking in some kingside attack. So far, this position is pretty interesting. It's really instructive to see how Alekhine is not playing only in the king side. He's playing in both sides. Yeah, he attacked the queen side and now is bringing with all his pieces to the king side. But that is the interesting point. Sometimes we think that we only have to attack one side, and the best strategy is to confuse the opponent, creating some threat in the other side for, after some moves, bring with all your pieces fastly to the other side. In general, if the opponent has less space, it's really difficult to defend the other side. Yeah. So bishop f8, h4, rook a8, bishop b1, and h5. So queen f3, attacking the g6 pawn. And this is also a really good move, because it's not because Alekhine is thinking, oh, maybe my opponent, if don't see... No, it's not thinking that, because Asztalos was another master, yeah? So it was pretty clear that he would see that. But the main idea is to create another weaknesses, yeah? So g6, now this castle is not too strong because has many weak squares. And here Alekhine starts with his attack with g4. Open the kingside position. X takes g4, queen takes g4, bishop g7, and again we have a really interesting situation because, well, first take a look with that, pause the video and trying to discover the move, and after that I will explain you why this position is pretty interesting. I think that is the best way. What do you think, guys? What is the best move here for the white pieces? Well, I have to say that there are many good moves here, but the Alekhine one is really instructive because it's a positional one. It's interesting to see that, for example, f4 or h5 are possibilities, yeah, are not bad move, but bishop a2, I think, is the best way to play here. Why? It's very simple. In general, when you are attacking, the best way to play is to improve all your pieces. Why? Because on this way, you will be able to create more mortal threats, we can say. So now the bishop on a2 is attacking really good points in the black castle, and now ideas like knight takes g6 are coming, no? So before bishop c4, of course, we can allow the possibility of b3, b takes a3, b takes a3, and queen a5. So queen e4, and this position is pretty difficult for the black pieces. Queen c7, queen e4, creating some threats like knight takes g6 in some moment, rook a b8, and h5. Amazing move by Alekhine. Open the g file, because after g takes h5, like the game, king h1, rook b7, and rook g1. Well, when you are attacking, remember, I told that, but I repeat it because it's the most important concept in the attacks. You need to attack with all your pieces. All your pieces has to join to the match, yeah, to the game. So it's pretty important to understand that, because sometimes we want to attack with two pieces only, and in general, this is a big problem, because if the opponent has the same amount of pieces, will be really difficult to break his defense. So for that reason, remember, all the pieces to the party. Yeah, it's pretty important to do that. And queen e7, rook takes g7, amazing sacrifice by Alekhine. King takes g7, rook g1 check, king x7, and now, guys, imagine that you are playing this game, you have this position because you played in a spectacular way, but you need to find the last move. What do you think? Well, here Alekhine played knight takes f7, a astonishing move, incredible one, because it's not only for the sacrifice, it's for the idea behind this sacrifice. Because, well, what is the idea behind knight takes f7? The move bishop d3, a counter move, but a decisive one. Because, for example, after queen takes f7, bishop d3 check, king h8, queen h6, queen x7, and after queen f8, this is checkmate. Here and here, no? So it's impossible to take the knight. That is the main problem. The same happens with bishop takes f7, because bishop d3 check, king h8, in fact it's worst. Queen h8, h6, and this is checkmate. So remember, an attack, if you want to build a really strong attack, you need to be aware first of trying to go with all your pieces. That is a really important concept. And remember, don't rush. Yeah, sometimes the best way to build a good attack is to improve your pieces slowly, yeah, and after some improvement to create the final attack. Yeah, that is another important concept. So I hope you enjoyed this game. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and see you soon in another lesson for the Remote Chess Academy. Thank you very much.